Good morning. Welcome, everyone, to our David's Deep Dive. It is Tuesday. Give me 1 second. Going to get our presentation shared. If you can hear me, please say hello. Good morning. If you can hear me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Here we go. Get the presentation up. Oh, that's not what I wanted to share. It's this one. Just miss the snip. There you go. Awesome. Good morning. Welcome to David's Deep Dive. Today, we're going to talk about a very near and dear topic to me because today is really about how we transform ourselves. Now, I have not had the opportunity to share this message enough, and I think it's something that needs to be said often, more times than most. And of course, if you're here for the first time, thank you for watching today. My name is David Bettis, and I am going to walk you through what I call David's Deep Dive. Every week I come at you live and I give you information that will help you benefit your life and your business. Hopefully both ends, because if you're a business owner or you're in business or you work in a business, regardless, you are going to benefit from this. Now, over the years, I've had the ability to come up with some concepts. One of my biggest concepts is my book, Building Your Own Economy. If you haven't got a copy, you can get it on my website, david8bettis.com, or on Amazon. Just search Building Your Own Economy. Now, today's topic, the disconnect between who you want to be and who you really are. This is, or who we are. I put it we and we, but who you are and who you really want to be. This is a huge concept because one of the internal beliefs that I have is that I'm always aspiring to do big things, aspiring to do great things. And sometimes my actions and my image don't portray that. And so we're going to talk about how this happens, what you can do to change, and how this could really be something that you really be very, what we'll call, conscious of, something you're very self-aware of. It's my belief that most of us have a poor radar, if you will, for self-image. We have a poor radar, or in some cases, maybe a heightened radar. And I say that either it's poor or it's high, because high typically involves self-esteem and confidence, and low means you really just don't have an understanding of who you are. And as we go through life, we become more, I hope, aware of these things. Children, young adults, they really don't have an understanding of this concept, but as adults, we should. And so let's go through this together. So a frustration point for most of us is this point where we become frustrated because of who we are today and what we have and what we've become and what we've produced. See, I'm a kind of a person that likes to sprint, right? I love a sprint. I'm not a brisk walker. I'm not a walker. I love to sprint places. Now, the problem with sprinting is that typically when you sprint, you're hoping to go really far, really fast. And the problem is that when you feel like you're sprinting, but the results look like you're walking, it really becomes frustrating, because you're saying, man, I'm really trying my best. I'm giving my all. I'm trying to produce, and I'm delivering at the highest levels. And I feel like it's my best work, or my best, whatever it is for you. And then you look at maybe your bank account, or you look in the mirror, or you look at something and you're just like, man, this is not the result I was looking for. See, that's a frustration point. And I think that really becomes apparent more and more when you become better. You see, people maybe not will ever realize this. Maybe they'll never realize this because they have no aspirations of becoming better. They have no aspirations of doing anything. That's like 90% of the world, by the way. It's just people who want to go through life, who want to get through life, not go through it. They just want to get through it. Like the end of the day is like, yes, I made it to the end of the day. Let's go for the next day. And then, yes, I made it through another day. And yes, instead of going through the day and kicking ass. And that's really a mindset shift, right? So the frustration point for me has always been when I wasn't happy with the results that I'm producing based on the amount of energy that I'm putting into something. Now, this happened to me so many times. In fact, just recently I had this epiphany because I felt like I worked so much and so hard to be able to have and feel the way that I do. And so at night, some days I would be going to bed and I would just be like, man, what did I accomplish today? Like, what did I produce? What was actually gained from today? And a lot of the times I wasn't happy with it because I really was in just disalignment, if you will, with who I was. It's like, I feel like I'm just, the best. I'll give you a good example for most of us. If you go to the gym for like 3 days in a row, you go look in the mirror after the third day and you're like, man, I look leaner. I look more fit, You ever been there? Like 3 days in, 2 days in. And the honest truth is nothing has changed except your perception. Because in most cases, 3 days is not going to change your weight drastically enough for you to really see the difference. Right. And one workout can't change your life. You know what I mean? So it's really just your image and your perception changes, and then your standards become bigger, and then you start seeing yourself in a different way. So let's go through this. So we have two images that we see ourselves as, or that we see ourselves rather, and then how everyone sees us. And these are the images that I believe we portray into the world each day. So who we see in the mirror, and then who everyone else sees. You see, I struggle because I'm always trying to make these two images the same. I'm always constantly, never ending, finding ways to find the connection point for me. Like, I don't want to be thinking I am someone and then the world sees me as someone else. Like, that is a frustration point for me. And it should be for you, by the way. I think this is, and if it is, please, comment if it's something that you feel the same way, because I absolutely hate thinking that I am good at something and then somebody else is like, he's not. Or I absolutely hate feeling like I'm doing the best I can in the world and somebody else sees me and says he's not. Like, that is a huge frustration point for me. It makes me think. I think the highest achievers in the world are very self-aware, and this is the highest self-awareness to me. Is I want you to see me the same way I see me. Right? I think of myself as strong and fit, energetic, powerful, smart, educated, talented, committed. Like, these are words I describe myself as. And I want you to feel the same about me. Like, if you don't feel that same thing about me, then there is a disconnect. And that frustration is what really pains me inside internally. So these two images, who you see in the mirror and who other people see. So you ever met somebody, by the way, that just has really high self-esteem? They look in the mirror and they're like, man, I look good. And then you look at them and you're like, bro, you can afford to lose some weight. This happens all the time, by the way, because most people sell themselves on an image that just isn't real. And I see this more often than most because I'm very real with myself. And I hope you are too. Like, I am literally super real. Like, I call myself out on my own bullshit. I'm not here to tell myself that I am something that I'm not. I will never, my own integrity will not allow me to have confidence in an area if I know I'm not truly the person that I should be. Like, my integrity won't. Like, I may feel like I'm strong, for an example, today, right? But I'm not where I want to be. So I can't be like, I'm so strong, blah, blah, blah. Like, I can't say it. Like, it pains me to say it. It pains me in my internal knowing. It just hurts. So I can't say things that I don't believe about myself. I don't know about you, but some people can. Some people can talk to themselves and their heads can be this big. I know a lot of those people, their heads are this big, right? And literally it's because it's the weight that they carry, their heads that big, right? You get it? All right. So we build an image through two things: appearance and actions. Appearance and action. So appearance being right here. Appearance, the same thing, the same that someone else, something looks like. I don't know what I wrote here. So what someone or something looks like. I don't know what I was typing here. What someone or something looks like. That is an appearance. What someone or something looks like. So when I think about appearance, I think about how you carry yourself, your dress, your attire, your charisma, your smile, your presence. This is the appearance that you put to the world. And for an example, there are some people who literally don't understand appearance. And so they think that their appearance is supposed to be for themselves. So they don't dress properly, or they don't smile enough, or they don't commit to themselves and their health enough. And so they think, honestly, they think that by them being who they are, they should just be automatically known as the person for something or the thing for something. But the honest truth is, you can't have that without the right appearance. So here's an example, or here's the other one, which is the actions, rather. Actions, a thing done or an act. Now, I think about actions all the time because my appearance is how people see me. My actions are how people perceive me. See me, perceive me. And perceive means the ability to think about who I am. So for an example, if I was a guy out there just talking about doing investments, and I never really talked about or showed my investment strategies, then people would think of me as probably somebody who is just full of crap. So I talk about investments, but then I post my real estate deals. I show you guys that I'm doing something in the world. I talk about real estate quite often. So I'm putting into the world exactly what I want people to see. I'm a real estate investor, right? I talk about being, part of the best, or being the best trainer in the tax space today. I'm the number one tax business trainer in the world, or coach in the world. And I do that by taking 6-figure businesses to 7 figures. And how do I do that? Is through my actions. I've done it for many years. Not only have I walked it, I'm actually doing it. And here's the deal, is that when we think about actions, it's really how you deliver to the world. Are you giving things away? Are you sharing your message? Are people really clear on what you do? These are actions, right? So think about images, or we will call them stereotypes that we have for different professions. Now, this is going to get technical into who you are, maybe in your business or in your career. But I like to think about this because I didn't have enough time to put in like images, but think about a doctor. What does a doctor look like? A doctor typically looks, slacks, white shirt, coat, right? Like has an image of a doctor. In fact, if you go to a restaurant during lunch, you can pretty much spot the doctors, right? Lawyers, same thing, suit, right? Button-up shirt rather, tie, most cases. Right now, obviously you can catch a lawyer or a doctor off of those things, but you have an image, right? An accountant, shirt and tie, or shirt, at least button-up shirt and slacks, right? Teacher, typically professional, right? Looking good. Insurance agent, right? Insurance agent, I put that in there because I'm in the insurance business. What does an insurance agent look like? And most of you will have a different opinion of that. But honestly, a real insurance agent dresses sharp, looks good, looks like they have success in their life, because that's what people want to see. Now, I'll give you an example of a story, or a story that I have. So there was about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, no, maybe 4 years ago, I was looking for a new car. And this is in the time of my life where I was going through this transition of my image. You see, I had an image challenge. I was portraying success in business and life, but yet my actions didn't speak it. I drove a big old pickup truck that was kind of beat up, and I would dress in shorts and tennis shoes every single day. I was, wearing, random things. I just wasn't looking the part of somebody who was exuding success. And so I went through this transition period of my life where I said, I need to start thinking about how people see me. And so I went to go look for a new car, and it was shopping at the time. I wasn't going to buy, but I was shopping. And I remember walking into a Mercedes-Benz dealership, and the Mercedes-Benz is kind of local. And I said, I'm going to look at Mercedes-Benz because I want people to see that I'm doing good in the world. And how do they know that? They judge you by what you drive, what you wear, where you live. All of that is judging. Don't even tell me you don't think about those things. So I go into Mercedes-Benz and I'm looking at, some nice cars. I mean, these are expensive cars, but I'm looking at them. They're really nice. And a guy walks up to me and he's like, hey man, can I help you? And I said, yeah, and I looked him up and down, like literally just looked up and down. And the guy was dressed in jeans and tennis shoes and an untucked polo t-shirt. And I said, what are you going to help me with, bro? And he's like, well, I can help you look at these cars. And I said, you're not going to help me dress like that. And he looked at me like I offended him. And I said, look, I'm coming to a dealership to spend a lot of money, and I expect somebody to look the part of somebody who has success so they can help me. And I think you should probably think about how you're dressed. You can't sell me a Mercedes-Benz and tennis shoes, bro. Like I told him straight, hard. I think I hurt his feelings. I think he was a little pissed off. Somebody needed to tell him that. You cannot expect people to take you seriously if you don't have an image of success. You just can't. And I really beat up that guy. And I beat people up all the time on this because it is very ridiculous to me for you to tell me that you want to be successful, but you don't portray that image. So how do you think about your image, right? Think about it, right? Do you look like the person you want to be known as? I want people to know me as wealthy, but I also want them to know that I am an investor at first. So what that means to me is that maybe I don't buy the most expensive everything. Maybe I don't wear the $50,000 watch. Maybe I don't live in the mansion. Maybe I don't have, but I have a lot of real estate investments, right? I'm always looking for a deal. I'm always looking to commit. I'm always looking to grow. There are things that I want to invest in and there's things that I don't, but I want people to know that I'm thinking about investing all the time. I'm thinking about growing all the time. So I don't actually have to always be dressed up in a suit to show people who I am, but I definitely can't dress in a t-shirt every day and expect people to give me their money believe in my success and join my programs or become part of my movement or my culture. Maybe if that's your ideal market, maybe if you're looking for that, maybe that's who you're supposed to be. Maybe you're a punk ass kid that needs to wear Adidas every day to attract 18-year-old other punk ass kids to do business with you. Well, then cool, maybe that's your image. But if you're a grown ass man or woman and you're a professional and you're trying to make money in the world, you have to look like you have money in order for people to give you their money. I learned this, changed my whole life. So what else? Let's talk actions. How do they act? Not the average, the best. So here's something I want you to talk about. So we talked about image, let's talk about actions. How does the best in whatever industry you're in act? What do they do? What mannerisms do they have? Where do they go? What do they talk about? These are actions. And when you think about actions, don't think about the average person. You see, I think that's the problem. You go into the world, or actually you don't go into the world. You stay around the same people all the time. So you dress like them, you act like them, you talk like them, you become like them. And then you think that the rest of the world is the exact same as that little group. When the honest truth is the real groups are out there into the world. They're bigger than where you live. They're bigger than your town and your community. It's the world. It's the globe. And as you get into the world, the real world, if you will, you'll understand that the actions of the people that are doing the things you want to do at the highest levels are totally different than the actions of the people that you hang out with at home. And actions is about finding the people who are doing it at the highest level and following it. So I look at influencers for an example. I want to be an influencer in the space that I am, in the tax space, in the financial services space. Like that's my goal, is to be that influencer. So I look at other influencers in different spaces and I'm looking at what they're doing. What are they talking about? How are they acting? What are their behavior patterns? What are they dressing like? What are they looking like? What are they doing? And all of those things become part of who I want to become. So maybe you would say, David, you need to be original or you need to be unique. First off, I am unique. The talents, the skills, and the abilities that I possess in here are very unique. The way that I attract people, it may not have to be so unique, because the honest truth is there's a formula to attract people, which is look like who they're looking for and act like who they're wanting to do business with. It's very simple. But internally, I'm a different type of strategy. I'm a different skill set than most people. You see how I'm looking at it? So think about the doctors. How do they act? Lawyers, how do they act? Accountants, how do they act? Teachers, how do they act? Insurance agents, how do they act? And I'm not talking about the average ones. The guy that makes $100,000 is not the guy you want to talk about. It's the guy that makes $1 million, $2 million, $5 million. How do they act? What do they do? Where do they shop? What do they go to? What do they buy? What do they invest in? And that's how you need to start thinking. So do you look like the person you want to be known as? The honest truth for me, no, I don't. I don't look like that person. I'm every day in every way trying to figure out how to do that. Every day in every way, I'm trying to get better at it. Every day in every way, I'm trying to get better. And how do I do that? I'm targeting it. I'm pushing on it. I'm looking and I'm seeking and I'm acting in a way that is going to get me to that influencer spot that I want to be in. So what actions are you taking each day to represent who you want to be? Some people are not taking any actions. In fact, I know people, the reason they won't take actions is because it costs money. It's a very simple statement. It costs money, and they're too frugal or too cheap. The honest truth is cheap. They take action. They don't want to invest money in themselves. They don't want to buy new clothes. They don't want to invest in a vehicle or upgrade their home. And I'm not telling you have to spend money. I'm talking about investing money. You see, I'm investing money. When people say you spend money, no, I invest money. You may not see it because people are sometimes looking for return on investment. So people would say, what's the ROI in buying a new home, or what's the ROI in looking good? The I isn't necessarily the investment, right? I'm looking for return on objective. The return on objective for me is I want people to perceive me a certain way. Because of that perception, they believe in me in a different way. And because of that, what it does is it translates into business for me. It attracts the right people. It brings me opportunity. It calls to people who I am. And some people are just, oh, that doesn't work. And I'm like, well, I mean, look at where I'm going. Look where some of the other people that I follow have gone. What about you? And that's the challenge. They can't get over the frugalness, the cheapness, I'm not going to be able to spend $1 because I got to do X, Y, Z. When I realized that I had to change my image, it made me make more money. And it also attracted more money. It attracted it. I literally bought a BMW in 2018 or 17, whenever it was. First nicest car I've ever owned in my life. Before that, I owned Nissan Sentras and Toyota, Tacomas. And I had a Nissan Sentra. It was my first car in 1984. My second car was a 2002 Nissan Sentra. My third car was a 2011 Nissan Sentra. If you don't know what a Nissan Sentra is, you're probably rich. But if you do know what it is, that's what I drove for almost all of my life. More than half of my life was driven in a Nissan Sentra, and it was never a brand new one until 2011. And the only reason I got a brand new one in 2011 is because I needed it. My other car gave up, and it was a little payment. It was, anyways. What I'm getting at is when I learned how I could take actions in investing in myself and upgrading my stuff, when I drove a BMW, people were like, man, that guy must be doing good. Let's go do business with him, right? We need to be in his circle. We need to know who he is. We got to work with him. He does do good things. I see it. What are we going to work with him on? And people started to give me money, paying me higher dollars. I could charge more for some reason. People wanted to give me more money. People wanted to work with me. I attracted new people into my team. I started to become a magnet for business. Appearance is everything. So a good assignment for you today, before we end, ask someone not so close to you their honest opinion of your image and actions. Someone not so close. Now, if they're really close, then ask them to be honest, right? Ask them to be honest. What is their opinion of you? Are you in alignment with who you want to be? Maybe you should tell them who you think you are and then ask them, do I look like that person? Because so many of us really don't understand that. We think that we are portraying the person that we think we are, but we're really not. Like somebody would tell me why I'm a professional, and I'd look at them and say, well, tell me what about you is exuding professional. Tell me what about you is exuding professional. Well, I have a lot of knowledge and skills. Well, that's cool, but I can't see knowledge and skills. You can only perform those knowledge and skills when I give you my business. So just seeing that doesn't really tell me anything. The only thing I can judge is by appearance and actions. So when I look at you, does what you're telling me align with it? You may be the best at whatever you think you're doing, but I honestly don't believe that you're in alignment. And that's typically because I'm in that same boat. But when you become in alignment with who you want to be and who people see you as, what you do is now you become this like authority. You become an influencer. You become the best in that category. People know you, they flow you, they become attracted to you. This is an assignment you should ask people. Do I look like that? Am I that person that I think I am? And if you're not, then take steps to become that person. Study people who are in your industry or that profession or the direction that you want to have. And before I kind of end here, I don't want to make this all about business. You can think about this in parenting. You can think about this in marriage. Like find the people who are doing the things. Do it from my outside of parents. Am I a good husband? Am I a good father? Am I a good parent? Am I a good? You see, the only way we're going to get that really is through by asking questions. And if you're very close to me personally, I'm probably going to beat you up and tell you exactly what I think. If you ask me the question, I would tell you. I would definitely tell you what I think, because I've learned one of my superpowers. I know this is like my superpower. I've realized it over the years, and it becomes more and more apparent to me today. My superpower is the ability to read, understand, right? Read, understand, and uncover people. Like I can see you, I can talk to you, and just within like 5 minutes, maybe even 2 sentences, I can already tell you if you're somebody of integrity. I can already tell you if you're somebody I want to work with. I can already tell you if it's something that you already know or you're doing something good. Like I can feel through conversation so much about people. I can read them. And the problem with that, by the way, for me, is it makes it very difficult to deal with people that I don't want to deal with, because internally my integrity says, just don't even talk to these people. I'm very good at it. Sometimes I just have to bite my tongue. Sometimes I'm very silent with people. Even people that I know really well or I love, I just bite my tongue because I can't say what I believe because I know it'll hurt their feelings. And I know it because I can read people. Like I wish I could just be open with everybody, but that's one of my superpowers. One of my superpowers is that. Now, you probably think I am very open with you, but I could probably say a lot more. But I'd hope people would say the same to me, by the way. I hope people would tell me that I'm not in alignment with who I am. I hope people would say my image doesn't portray who I want to be, right? This isn't becoming of the person that I want to be. You see that? I'm not taking actions and my image is wrong. So think about this. All right. So connect with me, get my book, please. If you could, if you haven't ordered it, please, Amazon.com. It makes a great stocking stuffer. I'm going to turn this over. So before I end today, if anybody has questions, you can put them in the chat. I'm going to look down here and see if there's anything that I need to cover. I see a lot of good mornings. If you like the topic, please share the DDD link, the Zoom link with your friends or family. Tell them to register to this, because I promise the things I'm going to be talking about and the concepts that I continue to share are going to get better in 2022. I'm a big believer in the way that we put energy into the world is exactly in proportion to what we get back. And the energy that we push, and I'm pushing here, is hopefully to get you in a better position to be a winner in 2022 and in life. Your job every day is to show up, produce, and to grow. And the only way you're going to do that with the right image and the right actions. So I hope this has helped you. And I don't see any questions or comments, as one of my favorite professors used to say, or obscene gestures. I don't think you put an obscene gesture in here. But if not, guys, I really appreciate your time. And I want to thank you so much for watching our weekly DDD. I look forward to seeing